Good morning, everyone, or wherever you are. We hope you're having a great day. I'm Rick Zanotti, and this is SchreckTeck, episode number 64, I believe. And before I introduce our lovely co-host, I want to get one thing out of the way. Pinterest. There. I've actually said it, and now here is Gina Schreck.
Pinterest. We always try to see, can we make it through a show without saying Pinterest? And Rick opens with Pinterest. And Rick, there's actually some big news going on around Pinterest.
Oh, no. What else could there be?
What else could we talk about?
All right. How are you doing today, Gina?
I'm doing great. I spent quite a few hours this week on Pinterest. Shocking, I know. But actually reading some posts about businesses and what they're doing on Pinterest. So I find it quite funny that, we always try to avoid saying it. And there's actually this kind of joke stigma around Pinterest with everybody. Kind of people look at Pinterest as a silly kind of waste of time.
I thought that was only guys.
Mostly guys. But even when I go on there in the beginning, I thought, gosh, all it is arts and crafts and food.
Food is good.
And usually the food things that I see, even though they tell you how to make it, I try to make it. It never looks like the one in there. And this week was an example. They had you turn a muffin pan upside down, a cupcake pan, and put cookie dough on the round part of the muffin and make cookie bowls. I was like, how hard can that be? Well, I didn't really read the instructions. I just saw the picture on Pinterest. We tried it. Yeah, it doesn't come out like they showed. So, Pinterest has this bad rap, but businesses are really getting serious about creating. I think it's like any social site. It takes a while before we find out how can we really be creative with these social media sites come up. And the state of Maryland, I found the state of Maryland.
Sorry.
I thought maybe that was the state of Maryland.
We're having a...
Is that their state song?
Hold on. I don't know. That's Georgia.
Oh, that's Georgia. Right, no, keep going east.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Is there really?
I accidentally knocked over the soundboard.
Well, the state of Maryland, the governor there did a whole campaign encouraging startup businesses, and they ran a contest, and the startup businesses had to create Pinterest boards showing their business in pictures, and they did this contest. It was really creative, really well done. So, it's one of those things that, just like Foursquare in the beginning we thought was useless, and now brick and mortar businesses are really using it to build profit. So I think it takes a while for us to figure out.
I do agree. They are somewhat useless. Yeah, I have no interest in telling people where I am at any time of the day. I still don't get that one.
You pretty much stalk me because I check in places and tweet where I am. So,
yeah. Have you ever had any problems?
Never.
No.
Never.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I've never even had somebody come up going. I have had someone at an airport when I checked in at an airport say, "What concourse are you in?" And it was somebody I knew from Twitter. I'm in concourse B waiting, but our flights were like too quick of a connection. We couldn't meet. But that's the closest, and that wasn't a creepy encounter. So I've never had anything creepy. Yeah,
no.
Maybe
you're in trouble when you get somebody who comes up and goes, "Hello, my name is Miles."
Maybe I scare people. I think that could be.
That could be too. That could be too.
That could be what it is.
I mean, if you get an anonymous stalker, how would they feel being tweeted about? It's probably not good.
They know that their picture would immediately, because even if I was being kidnapped, I would be filming the whole thing and putting it on Facebook.
Yes. Hey, you want to talk about a little bit of hardware? Shall we show a little video?
Because this excites you. Let's go there, Rick.
Well, I'm not excited by it. It's just sort of interesting.
It's cool.
All right, here we go. Oh, that's a cool little device. Well, that's the new
Yeah.
Surface tablet from Microsoft. Just announced, was it yesterday?
It was yesterday. Why do you think they did the announcement in the evening? I mean, it was
And on
5
and on a
p.m.
Monday.
on a Monday.
That's a little
I thought it
odd.
was a really interesting move, but it was a big announcement, and people had been anticipating this. Their new tablet,
It looks nice.
the Surface. That's a cool commercial. There's a couple things that I immediately was intrigued by. The rubber case, that's the keyboard. That's nice. Although like I was saying to you, I think it's interesting that it attaches by the side of the tablet, or by the tablet with the magnetic case,
Right.
kind of like the Apple's magnetic case. But it's different. It is a keyboard. What do you think about the kickstand on it?
I don't know. I'm not a great fan of kickstands. It depends how wide it is. If it's really narrow, then they have a tendency to flip over if you try to touch them.
Well,
So
I was curious because that means you can only use it one way.
it looked like it had one angle and that was it.
Unless it's one of those that you could, like a picture frame, you could put it landscape and it still would be a kickstand. Maybe I need to look at it again because I was thinking that going, that's interesting the way they show it. You couldn't flip it landscape or, portrait and make the kickstand work. But I like that feature, a built-in kickstand. Interesting, even with the kickstand, it's still the same width as the new iPad.
That's right. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah. I was thinking it was going to be a lot clunkier or thicker. It's an inch and a half bigger than the iPad, or an inch
A
bigger?
little bit bigger. Not too much. It's about the
Because,
same thickness, if not a little bit thinner.
right.
It's a good design.
Okay, now you probably can explain this to me. There's two different types. There's the Windows 8. Is that correct? Because there's two versions.
There's a Pro version, and which is the Windows 8 version, I believe, and then there's the tablet version.
What does that mean? Why would there be two different?
I'm not sure. I think one's just more powerful than the other one.
Okay, so obviously the Pro version was a little thicker, they said, than the new iPad. So one is thinner and maybe doesn't do as. I was confused by that, like going, it doesn't do as much, or what? What is the lower version of this?
Yeah, it's. I'm not really sure, but what
Yeah.
they have done is the Windows 8 version, I think, will be able to run all of the Windows apps or programs. So that may be the difference. They didn't go into great detail on that, so not
Right.
100% sure, but I guess
Because
time will
go,
tell.
why wouldn't the other one run
Now,
all
what
the
I
Windows
what I
apps?
didn't catch is when they're actually releasing this.
That is interesting.
So
I thought
it's
it was
not
coming
available
out.
yet. I don't think.
I thought it was coming out now.
Maybe.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it competes because I think, like we were saying, okay, who is this a market for? Obviously, if you're an Apple hater, and there are a lot of Apple people who refuse to buy Apple products just because everybody else does, this is a great looking tablet. Don't know performance wise. Who else do you think this is a market for?
That's anybody who is into Microsoft, maybe Exchange, something like that. Maybe they'll buy it. It's hard to say.
Or
There's so many tablets right now, and yet one dominates.
Yeah, because I look at all the Android tablets and there's certainly a lot of them out there. I mean, the Galaxy tablet gets a lot of press. A lot of people talk about that one, but people seem to always the iPad is the standard that everyone tries to measure up to. So it'll be
That's
interesting. Now, this is what kind of worries me about this Windows tablet. It is Microsoft's, it's bringing the software and the hardware. So they have done both, software and hardware, which the last time they did that, maybe not the last time, but the Zune MP3 player was one of their
Right.
examples.
That was a big hit.
Yeah, like what happened to that?
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm a little nervous about the reputation there, but hopefully it'll be a good competitor, giving the iPad a run. But apps, you brought up a good point. It's really any of these tablets you buy, they're only as good as the apps that you buy on them to make them do what you need them to do. So it will be interesting to see if it has. There's a lot of apps that people are using on a regular basis that they would need to hurry and get built.
That's true.
Um, yeah, that looks cool though. I love the commercial.
The
Love
commercial was
that.
nice. It was actually pretty high tech for
Yeah.
Microsoft. But then again,
And
they
what do
do
you
have
think
the
about
Xbox.
what do you think about the name Surface? I mean, at least they
Well,
didn't call
that's the name that they had for their big Surface, which wasn't a tablet, their
it
table, the
cable.
Surface table.
Oh, that's true.
So I
Can you
thought
still get this?
it wasn't exactly creative. It was something they've already used, what, 5, 6 years ago or more?
That is interesting. I still would love to have one of those.
Oh, the tables, they're cool.
Yeah. I don't know what I would do with it, but I wanted it for my kitchen table. Just read the news while you
It's
eat.
Minority Report Gina.
Yeah, I think that would actually be a really cool thing. I do want a giant wall tablet, but enough about my wish list. So that was good. I like the tablet. I think that's exciting. In the social worlds, no big Facebook changes this week, no big LinkedIn releases. Um, so on that end, all is well. None of us have to go out and recreate anything this week
No,
because of
that's
their
next
changes.
week probably. They can't
Probably
go at
next
least more
week.
than a week
Prepare.
without screwing people over.
Be ready to fire up that Photoshop to change your profile pictures once again.
Now, have you noticed that there is a new version of TweetDeck that was put out on? I've seen it on Apple, and it's on the Mac store. They got rid of the Air version, the Adobe Air version of TweetDeck, and the new
That's
version gets a
interesting.
whole 2 stars out of 5 for a lot of reasons.
I know you said last week you hated.
Yeah, and I'm looking, the reviews are just not any better. So I'm
See,
kind of curious why Twitter buys these. And I didn't Twitter buy Posterous?
oh, I don't
I
know.
thought that was Twitter,
But
and,
I
and I've
know when
heard
they bought
that.
TweetDeck, there was a lot of complaining. Yeah, I'm not sure. And I used to be such a TweetDeck fan.
Oh, I love TweetDeck right now. I have it
I,
on. I have
I'm
mostly the Air
fully
version.
integrated. I have fully transferred over to Hootsuite and love it
Right,
for so
right.
many. I mean, it just does a lot. And as a matter of fact, Hootsuite, um, that there was an announcement. Hootsuite hit 4 million users of Hootsuite, and to kind of say thank you, they're giving everyone the ability to anyone, whether you're a pro user, enterprise user, or free user, the ability to manage a LinkedIn page, which used to be one of their paid features. But you can add not your LinkedIn profile, that's always in there, but a LinkedIn business page you can add in now as well and manage from Hootsuite. So that's nice. I mean, we manage Facebook pages, LinkedIn groups, we manage from Hootsuite,
So
so we
they
can monitor discussion and such.
so they did give a hoot.
They did give a hoot, but they don't pollute.
They don't
Um,
pollute.
and Smokey the Bear, only you can prevent forest fire. Although in Colorado right now, no one can prevent this forest fire. But Father's Day was a couple days ago. Did you get any gadgets? Did you get any technology? I guess I
No,
should say that.
actually,
Did you buy
no,
yourself?
no,
No?
nothing at all. Actually, except a cake.
A cake. That's very
It's
nice.
not
Did your
quite a
daughter make it?
gadget, but yes,
Did lovely Krista bake that?
yeah, yeah.
Then it was delicious,
The
I'm
sugar
sure.
monster.
It was what?
She's the sugar monster.
Oh, I thought you said she made Cookie Monster.
That too.
Like, what?
She makes cookies
Yeah,
and sugar.
that's
Sugar.
perfect.
Sugar is the key ingredient.
That's another thing her and I share is the
Yeah.
love of sugar.
By the
Um,
way, we have been on now for 15 minutes. I just want to say to everybody, Pinterest.
Rick's going to make sure at least every 15 minutes we say the words Pinterest.
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 Pinterest. And one day maybe may it Pinterest in peace.
Yeah. Good morning, Leva. Yeah, Leva said she's lonely here. Captivate was released last Friday. And
That's right. Adobe has released a lot of stuff recently with the CS6 announcement. But more than that, this is where Adobe finally got it. Their prices have gone down so much from what they used to be that at this point, I think they stand a good chance of really doing what Apple did to a lot of people. They're basically forcing everyone, or they will force everybody to go down if they want to compete. Now you can get Adobe Captivate, which was $7.99 for $20 a month. 19 bucks a
Wow.
month, I think. Now that's brilliant. That's
Now,
exactly
how
what
does the
Apple did.
average, someone who's not in e-learning, how would the average business use Captivate? In
Oh, I
what
mean,
ways?
if you're not really into e-learning, they could use it in marketing. A lot of people are using it to do marketing and things like that. But it's really more geared for an e-learning marketing kind of tool as far as
Tool.
demos, creating things, interactivity. But look at the other CS6 products that they've released. They fit so many different niches from video editing, sound editing.
Right.
The Master Collection is now $49 a month. Now that
Wow.
used to be almost 3,000. So
Wow.
think the difference in price. That's enormous.
Yeah.
So they did exactly what Apple did. I remember when I got Final Cut Pro originally, it was I think about 1,100 to 1,200 bucks. Now you can get for less than $400, you get the whole thing.
Yeah, and that's still a sore subject for me because I bought Final Cut Express
Right. And
a couple years ago.
it's gone now.
I never even installed it.
Yep.
I bought it, I opened the package, never even touched it. Really, and I had intended on learning how to use it and switching from iMovie over to Final Cut Express, and just never took the time to do it. So yeah, that's a sore subject.
But
But
iMovie has gotten a lot more powerful now.
yeah, I mean, I can do everything I need to do on iMovie. I
Right.
just was looking for a fresh look because after a while, the templates and things they have in there.
Right. Though you can buy templates. There are people who are making add-on templates from what I've seen. There's some nice stuff out there, and
Let me check that out.
yeah,
Yeah.
there are some third-party vendors. Not a lot, but
Well,
there's some good ones.
well, yesterday I had an interesting request from someone to give them feedback on their social profile, and it spawned a blog post that I wrote yesterday, and it really kind of got me thinking about we're on so many different social sites, which is part of the problem. We really for the average person need to pick the social sites. If you're a small business, you need to look at where are my customers and spend time there so that you can really make sure that when people go there, they know what you do and how to do business with you. Well, when this woman asked me to give her feedback on her social profile, she asked me this via a Facebook message. So my first thing was I just clicked on her name and went over to her Facebook page or her personal profile, not her business page, went to her personal profile. I scrolled down just, a little bit, beautiful pictures, lots of inspirational sayings, but didn't know what she did. So, and I didn't know who she was, so I didn't know what she did. So I kept scrolling. I was like, there's got to be some clues here as to what she does. Just inspirational sayings. So I thought, well, maybe she's an inspirational speaker. So then I went up to the top where you can click on your place of employment, which usually smart marketing people would know, takes you to your Facebook business page. Clicked on that link, and it took me to a page that was just as mysterious. It was just a bunch of quotes and poems about leadership and motivation. So I thought, well, maybe she's a leadership consultant. So I was looking for links to a website. There were two links. Clicked on one, took me to this domain is up, is available. So obviously it wasn't to her website. So I went to the other one, 404, page not found. I was like, I have no idea what this woman does. So then I searched for her on Twitter. Still could not. All she did was retweet other people. So it really kind of got me thinking of, we spent, and you could tell by her posts because yesterday alone on Facebook, she had like 14 posts on Facebook, which is way too many. If you're on Facebook, a couple posts a day, three, posts is good. When you have 14 posts, people are going crazy and blocking you. But after that, I really sat back and thought, she spends a lot of time on these social sites, obviously, but I don't know how to do business with her. I don't know how to give her money. I don't know what she does, which really made me think about in our businesses, sometimes we jump on these social sites and we meet fabulous people and they're really fun and we chat it up with people and we find great content to share, but nobody knows how to do business with us. And I always admit, I'm even guilty of that. I get on my personal Facebook profile. It's different. I use that to kind of build relationship, but I make sure, and this is kind of my rule of thumb, I don't know if it's a good one or not, but I always say within 10 posts, you better have something that drives people to do business with you. Mm-hmm. Call to action somewhere. Telling people how they can work with you, what you do. On my business page is all business. But even that, do you have calls to action that tell people how they can actually engage you to do business and give you money? I just find it really interesting. And I don't know if you find that in your world when you're looking at other people. And today we're sharing lots of content, but are we telling people what we do and how they can give us money to do business with us?
Well, that's a great point, too, also, because what happens is in a very ADHD surfing world, if they don't know what you do within about 2 to 3 seconds, they're gone. People don't last very long.
Even if you're sharing really interesting posts, I can be fascinated by your posts and go, wow, I'm going to keep reading all of your posts. That doesn't mean I know how to do business. It doesn't mean that I know what you do. It's like, okay, do you post posts? I mean, what do you do? Which on Pinterest, I thought it's been about 15 minutes.
It's been another, yep.
On Pinterest, again, I jump on these social bandwagons early and just start playing with them. And then I got more creative with the Pinterest boards and more beautiful pictures and all these great things. But even then I started looking at going, if somebody came to my Pinterest account and they look at all my boards, which I have like 30 different Pinterest boards, 30 categories, would they know how they can do business with me? Which, about a month ago, I created, maybe it's been longer, a Synapse connecting board so that I had a board about our business. So there I share information about social media management, blog posts. Whenever I blog, I try to pin that blog to my Pinterest board there. So again, and then this week I thought, maybe people need an About Me page on Pinterest. So I created, beyond my bio, about Gina Schreck. And then I can post things, sample videos of me speaking, headshots if clients find that. I just keep trying to...
Now, Gina, question. Do you find that helps generate business for you in terms of Pinterest?
It actually is driving more links to websites than LinkedIn.
Interesting.
So, that's the key. It's different. It's a different platform, and people use it differently. So if it's driving more links back to your website because people are sharing more pictures and clicking on them to see, I'm interested in this picture, where does it take me? It'll be interesting. Right now, all the statistics are saying, all these people are coming out with articles about Pinterest driving more links tracking back from Pinterest than LinkedIn, Facebook, even Twitter. It's interesting.
That is interesting.
But make sure, and this is where I keep coming back to, and it's an ongoing process, when we're on these social sites, do people know how to engage us? Now, maybe you're not a business owner. Maybe you work within a company. Do people know how to hire you? If you were using it for recruiting, because I read this article on how Pinterest is being used to get a job, which I thought that was really interesting. But maybe, I guess if you were an interior designer, if you were a artist of some sort, definitely. But, think about if I'm on a social site spending time, do people know how to engage me if I'm there for business, if that's one of the reasons I'm there? Do they know what I do and how they can work with me? Because I found that to be really mind-blowing when I looked at this woman's profiles. I could not tell what she did. Maybe. Had no clue. No clues anywhere. So I figured out she must be a criminal because she left no clues behind.
CIA.
It was really interesting. So that's my social media tip, is bring focus to your profiles. And I, every once in a while, just go over to my Twitter profile and I'll just scan one page. People don't scan beyond that typically. So I just scanned one page of tweets. In that one page, can people tell what we do at Synapse Connecting? Do I give, because if I'm just retweeting other stuff, people obviously can tell she does something to do with technology or social media because that's all I share. But do they know how they can do business with us?
Right, that's a good point.
And I challenge myself. We have to make sure we're always putting those messages.
So it's really a good point of staying on task.
Keeping focus. We want to share content for the community that we've built that's interesting, right. But make sure it's so laser focused that they really know. I always say my goal is when someone is in a meeting somewhere and somebody says, gosh, we need someone to help us manage our social media. It's just getting out of control. That somebody in that room is going to say, I follow someone on Twitter I think could help us. Or I'm connected with someone on Facebook I know could help us. I actually found this woman on Pinterest and I think she could help. That's what my goal is that anybody that's following one of my social pages would, by the looks of them, be engaged enough and interested to stay with me on there, but then would also recommend me for what I do if that came up.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's a good goal. Okay, I got Kirk for Father's Day a jam box, and it's those little, it looks like a Lego cube, and it's a speaker, real small. Love it. Love it. It was I think a little pricey for these little speakers, but it's kind of Bose quality speaker. And if you're a speaker expert, I know you would totally disagree with me on this, but they do sell the big Jambox speakers, and this is the little one. It's literally, you could probably put it in your pocket. It's really small. And it's Bluetooth enabled. So what was really cool is, and I think I shared this last week, he was struggling with listening to a podcast, or it was an ebook, an audiobook in his car while he was driving. And he does not have the ability to plug it in to hear it over his car.
Right.
So I bought him this, and he said, oh my gosh, it's so loud. It's great, and the sound quality is great. Then we brought it in the backyard. His iPad was in the house. He turned on music, and it came outside, and all we carried out there was this little cube. Awesome.
That's pretty good. Yeah, you know them.
$200.
How much?
It was $199, I think.
So it's not cheap, but the quality's good. You
If
know,
you're
in
looking
fact,
for a really good speaker.
if you want really good PC speakers or even Mac speakers, either or for any of your devices, Bose actually has a fairly reasonable, considering Bose is fairly expensive, they do have a $99 pair that works really well. I actually have one of those here.
I want to see, because I need some good speakers for my computer.
Yeah,
I have the little ones that just plug in the USB, and they're just these little tinny sounding.
Right. Now, for $250, Bose has I think they're called the C20s. They sound amazing. Those, I think they sound better than their $350 equivalent. They sound beautiful. I have those on my iMac at work, and the sound quality, they're as good as reference speakers. So if you want to do any kind of voice, they sound really good.
Oh, that's great.
And for the price, it's not too bad. I mean, they're about the same as a good pair of reference speakers, but they're not cheap, but they're good. They do sound good, and they play music beautifully, which reference speakers really don't usually. Oh, some of them do, the high-end ones, but they're really good for voice.
And the only reason I bought that other one at that price, we really were looking for a great speaker to bring outside that you could just move around quickly without having to plug in somewhere. And this one you charge up, so it does plug in. You can charge it up, but then it's like a Bluetooth device, and you bring it outside. And in our yard, we have so much sun. So I have all these, big umbrellas over the chairs and things. And as the sun moves, I always want to make sure I move the speakers out of the sun and anything that's out there. Well, when there's a plug, it got clunky, and I thought, gosh, I would really love to find a great speaker for outside. And we did the wireless ones that look like rocks in your garden.
Right.
A couple years ago, but the sound quality was it was bad. It was kind of cool if you just played nature sounds. So you're like, wow, you guys have a lot of birds. So
what you're saying is that the ones that look like rocks had a gravelly sound?
They were kind of gravelly.
Okay.
Yeah. So I thought that was a good thing, and then got him like typical dad stuff, clothes. But I have some really cool apps to share.
Okay, let's share.
Yeah, because I got really excited. I was asked to write an article for iPhone magazine, and it got me looking at the apps that I have on my iPad, as usual, which I did finally delete a few more that I don't use. But I found a couple. I love alarm clock apps, and I'm always looking for, I have one right now that wakes me up to bird sounds, and so I love that. But then I found one called Alarm Talk. And it is for iPhone, or iPad.
Now,
So it is
now
just an iOS.
I have to ask you something.
What's that?
You live in the middle of nowhere with animals everywhere, and you need to wake up to bird sounds?
It's funny.
I don't get that one.
Craig always says, he goes, when I'm outside and I hear crickets and birds, I always wonder, is this an app of yours or is this real nature? It's nature enhanced.
I see. Augmented nature.
Augmented nature. I always have some nature sounds going outside. And he's always like, is that are the crickets really out this early? And I go, I don't have my iPad on. It is really crickets. So that is pretty funny. But this alarm clock, this one is called Alarm Talk. What's really cool about it, you set the alarm like normal for whatever time, but then what's cool is when it wakes you up, it actually says, "Good morning, Gina. The time is 6:15. The weather currently is 73 degrees. Your appointments today." It's like a butler.
That's pretty
waking
cool.
you up. And then it tells you your appointments that are on your, it's pulling from your calendar. And it tells you 9 o'clock, SchreckTeck today. And then at the end it says, now rise and shine. You put in your name and you plug in your final thing that it says to you.
That's pretty good. Now, what's the name of it again?
Cool. Alarm Talk.
Alarm Talk.
Yeah, instead of alarm clock, it's an alarm talk.
That's cute.
The only downside is every night you have to remember to turn it on, because as soon as the alarm goes off, which I guess is a good thing, because sometimes the alarms go off and we forget to turn them off on a Saturday or Sunday, but every night you do have to turn it back on before you go to sleep. But I thought that was a cool app, Alarm Talk. And then the other one that actually I wanted to talk about is the new way of sending cards, which I think we've talked about Postagram in the past, but I got a card from someone this week by Sincerely, and Sincerely and Postagram are owned by the same they're the same company.
Okay.
The difference is Postagram, this is a Postagram card, and it's the size of a postcard. And you go on, you take a picture with your phone, and then...
Can you lift that a little bit?
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
So you take a photo, and then you turn the photo. You just say, okay, I want to choose this photo, and I put my message over here. It's kind of small, and the message also prints on the back of your photo, and it addresses it automatically for you.
It looks like nice quality paper from here.
Oh my gosh, it's thick. Now what's really cool about Postagram is, I don't know if you can tell, this picture is perforated that I can pop it out and keep it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's clever.
It's really cute. And then Sincerely, the difference between Postagram and Sincerely is more like a greeting card. It's a bigger card, and there's no pop-out picture. The whole card is your picture, and then you put text over it. The back is so it's still like a postcard, the way it mails it. The back has the address of who it's going to and your message. But the front of it can have a saying that you want, and they have different themes. So you can choose templates of birthday cards. You can choose holidays. What I love about it is, first of all, it's cheaper than buying cards, because the Postagrams are 99 cents each, and they mail it for you. And then the Sincerely card is $1.29. So nowadays, when you go buy cards, they're like $2 to $5 for a card,
right,
plus 44 cents or whatever to mail them. Plus, you have to remember to mail them. So this is snap a photo, and I started doing this for clients. Snap photos while I'm out there doing visits, and then send a little thank you note right there from your iPad.
That's a very good idea.
I just think it's gonna, and I've seen more of them being used. I think it's bringing back that personal touch. I just love the fact, we had dinner with some friends over New Year's Eve in San Francisco, and I had this picture that was just a funny picture because it was a chicken pitcher, and this Italian restaurant served their house wine in this chicken pitcher, and they bring you a plate of gummy bears. So it's the most random thing that they bring you when you first sit down. We laughed, and we were drinking chicken wine. We kept calling it chicken wine, and eating gummy bears. And so I had taken a picture, and it was a really cool, kind of artsy Instagrammed picture. But the other day, I just thought, let going to send them a card and just say, just thinking of the great time we had. And boom, it's off to them. I just love that. I love the ability to send cards easy. And it's cheaper. So
you know what? That is great marketing advice too. I mean, what a way to keep people. It's warm. It's friendly. It's people love pictures and people love getting postcards and stuff.
They do.
That is a great idea. And that's Postagram. That's called Postagram.
Postagram, and then Sincerely, and both of those apps are. I know they're both iOS. In the Android market, it's a different name. Postcard on the Run is similar, different company, different app company, but I love that concept, and I think we need to look at ways, again, in our business. A lot of people are doing the whole what's that card company, send out cards, that it's like a multi-level marketing thing, send out cards, and everybody's trying to get you to sign up for. I like this better because it's a picture that you took. So
no, that's great. And since you have the iPad with you, or the iPhone, does that work on iPhone as well?
Yeah, it does.
It does.
iPhone, iPad, any iOS device. And so again, snap a photo when you're out at a client site, or maybe something that you know your client loves and you see it out on the road, or a funny sign that you see that reminds you of a client. Snap a picture, boom, send a postcard. Great marketing tool.
That sounds great. Now we've got time for one more app if you've got one. If not, we'll wrap up.
I do. And this app, I have spent hours this week. The Schrecklet and I both have, because it is just so beautiful. And I don't know how I even found this app. I was looking for note-taking apps, and it is called Paper. There's another app called Paper. This is different.
Well, there's Bamboo Paper.
What's that?
Bamboo Paper is from Wacom.
See, and it's very good. It's called Paper by 53 is the developer. So that's what I tell people. If you're looking for it, you want to look for Paper by 53. So, of course, I just closed it. So what it does is it's a blank, it's just a blank notebook that you can write in using tools that they provide. But what we loved about it, Bailey and I, you can draw. So here's some of my here's some of my sketches. So you draw with pins. So if I tap on it, it'll open up the picture. Let's see, did it? Nope. So can you see that?
Yeah.
I'll try and get out of the way. So I can pull up the tools, and you can see it has paint brushes, watercolor brushes, pens, and then my only complaint is they need more colors. You have to create more colors by blending your paints and stuff. So I did my little robot guy. I was trying to just do a bunch of robot drawings, but really you could just take notes in it. But I thought, sometimes you're in a meeting and you want to draw your ideas or mind map things. I don't know why this one really, number one, was easy to use, but I love the fact that the tools were so realistic. That the ink pen and the brushes, and they had colored pencils. And so if you want to get creative, this one's called Paper by 53. Again, using it, you can also draw a picture and then share it on your social sites if it's focused. See, there we go. But kind of cool, and then you can create your covers using photos that you've taken in your photo library or one of their templates. So yeah, that was my fun creativity app, Paper by 53.
That sounds fun.
So, Rick, do you think there are people who are from Apple, the Apple lovers out there, feeling bad about the Microsoft announcement?
They may be, but I think we have something for them.
So, something for you Apple lovers.
Right. We are going to end the show today with something that we hope you guys like. And it is the new MacBook Pro with Retina display. Now, that doesn't sound like much until you see it. And it's pretty amazing. I think it's got a resolution of about 2500, 2600. So, yeah, it's pretty neat. So we're going to end the show with that. It's about a 4-minute video. And we look forward to seeing you guys next week on SchreckTeck. Hey, bye, Gina.
Have a great week, everyone.
You too. Have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.